Speechworks here.
Computers simulating humans. When it comes to speech, it's getting harder these days to tell what's real and what's not, and that has implications for our future. New York Bureau Chief Rick Lockridge joins us now with more on the voice on the other end of the phone. Rick?
Well, Michaela, sooner or later, it seems humans are going to have to get comfortable with the idea of conversing with machines. We kind of feel cheated now when we call somewhere and don't get a real person, but it's getting harder and harder to tell.
Welcome to United Airlines Flight Information Line.
When you hear Tom Glynn's smooth baritone on the phone, you're rarely hearing the real Tom.
United Express flight.
Usually it's software Tom, a computer assembling his phrases on the fly.
It's like Memorex, you know. It's hard to tell if it's me or if it's not me.
The software blender that cuts Tom up and puts him back together is from Speechworks, a Boston firm that's downright cocky about its capabilities.
Speechworks is the only company with the guts to compare their text-to-speech engine to real human speech.
So I took the so-called Speechify challenge, emceed by a clone of that weakest link chick.
Listen to these audio clips and try to work out which ones are real and which ones are speechified. Open daily from March the 1st to December the 24th.
I'm guessing that's real.
You're guessing that's real, Helen?
That's a good guess, but that's wrong, you know.
You get insulted a lot. Speechworks says the average score is only 5 out of 12.
I think my cat's cleverer than you.
The secret, having voiceover artists read their copy many different ways.
Please say or enter the United flight number.
And then giving every take a specific code.
And then our engine's smart enough to know which particular recording to put into place at what particular time.
The database...
Some might feel cheated having to get their info from, say, a haughty cartoon dominatrix.
Is there anything between those ears?
Speechworks believes such prejudices are already beginning to fade away.
Even if the voice weren't of this quality, they're still more oriented to getting the information, and they'd rather get it right away via automation than wait online for a live person in so many cases.
Think of the uses for synthetic consumer help voices, stock quotes, horoscopes, weather forecasts. They could read your email, even, Michaela, perhaps phone sex someday. And if you could make that convincing enough, ka-ching.
I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm not going to touch that one. There's two sides to this, really, then, Rick. You need the artificial intelligence to figure out what to say, then the speech blender to make it all sound real, right?
And the AI is what has to catch up. And when it does, there will be conversations where we won't be able to tell the difference. And that might creep some people out. But on the plus side, who wouldn't prefer consumer helpers with good manners and good grammar and complete sentences, for a change?
You might have a point. That's our Rick Lockridge in New York. Thank you, Rick.
Speech recognition software is everywhere, and you probably didn't even realize it. And we synthesized some syllables and dug up Blade Catelli, creative director of interface design for Speechworks and author of The Art and Business of Speech Recognition, Creating the Noble Voice. So, Blade, is that your real name?
It's almost my real name.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. Nice to meet you.
Almost your real name. So is your middle name?
It's my middle name now.
By birth?
Not by birth.
Oh, so you
nickname I got in college.
That's kind of neat. So you've been working with speech recognition for many years?
About 7 years now, yeah, as a designer.
Now, is speech recognition then, define it for me. Give us a bubble.
Sure. Speech recognition basically means a computer listens to what you say and tries to figure out what that is. And there are different versions of this. Dictation is what you do with a personal computer at home, so you can talk and dictate a letter. And the kind of stuff that I work with is over-the-phone systems for companies like United Airlines, Amtrak, people like that, where you call up to solve a certain kind of problem.
Yeah, my wife Gretchen, she freaked out. She called Amtrak the other day because her uncle was visiting, and she freaked out because it was so real.
It's meant to sound real. The best systems sound like you're talking to a friend, that it's asking you questions, and really sounds like they're trying to be sincere.
So is speech recognition the same as voice recognition?
Yes, speech rec and voice rec are the same thing, just different terms that people use.
Is that what the term they use in the field, rec?
People do shorten it to rec all the time.
Is that your jargon?
Industry jargon, yeah.
So you can be an insider if you just say rec.
Exactly.
So, as I said, this is out there. My wife was calling Amtrak. We've got an actual audio clip of what it would sound like if someone were to call United Airlines.
Right, this is
here.
what's live since '99.
Please say the United flight number, or say, I don't know it, and we'll get the flight number a different way. I don't know it.
Would you like arrival or departure information?
Arrival.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions so we can find the right flight. Here's a hint. If you ever know the answer to a question I'm asking, you can always interrupt me. And if you get stuck, just say, start over. Here goes.
From which city is the flight departing? Boston.
Wow.
In which city does the flight arrive?
Dude, it's like you're talking to a real person.
That's the idea. And the real challenge is to make it feel like it's a natural interaction. When he starts the next question, it should sound like a continuation of the same conversation, not a brand new thought like a lot of touchtone systems sound.
Yeah. In fact, I used to be hired out to do voice recognition stuff for companies who didn't want people to call them, because I would do they would never call back. It was just great. So the evolution of speech recognition obviously has come a long way.
Right. I mean, the idea is that you had a long time ago, the telephone was designed for people to talk to people. And then about 20 years ago, touchtone became really popular because companies could use it to save money in nice ways. But unfortunately, the design made it kind of weak. It wasn't very powerful. You couldn't do a whole lot of things with it. And the systems that were made weren't very personal.
Yeah. Well, how was it created?
How was
the speech recognition? I mean,
so a long time ago, people started working in labs to figure out how can we understand what someone says when they're talking. And then as computers got faster and algorithms got better, we learned how we could make it work on basically a beefed up PC. So you can take it and make it work for real companies. Now, over the phone, you have a small little teeny microphone. It's low quality too. So when people call up these systems, we ask them particular questions. For example, from which city is the flight departing? Now, in that situation, the system is only looking for a list of cities. Boston, Atlanta, San Francisco, Tokyo, but not a phrase like, yeah, I want to know what the weather's like in Denver. So it's listening for just a small segment, and that's how these systems generally work. They ask a question and then listen for a certain kind of response.
All right, we've got another audio clip here. This happens to be, I think it's just in theory.
It's kind of a vision as to what a speech system could sound like if you wanted a company's brand and identity to show through. It's for video games.
Oh, okay, so EA games?
EA.
All right.
Otherwise, say the name of a game to find out more about it. What would you like?
Where's my game?
Let's find out. What's the name of the game?
Madden 2001.
Madden 2001. Got it. If you have your order number handy, say it now. And if you don't, say, I lost it.
I lost it?
That's your bad. Loser! But don't worry, we can find it a different way. What's your zip code?
That's my favorite line. These systems, of course, can sound a little more fun, upbeat, and conversational because in reality, it's for video game people. It's a different audience, and they don't mind the idea of someone kind of stepping in from the frame and saying loser and coming back.
But you've never been to a ticket counter at United, apparently.
That's why we need to be a little bit different.
I've been called that a few times for different reasons. So what if you said something that didn't exactly fit the mold? I mean, what if you were off the script?
If you said something that was different than what it was expecting, it's going to come back and ask you the question a little bit differently. Often when designing the systems, you don't know why someone wouldn't give you a valid answer. Maybe they don't know how to answer the question, or they don't want to.
So this is going to replace psychiatrists.
Well, some could argue that there's reasons to replace them already.
I guess. So where's this thing heading? I mean, how far are we away from, like, Star Trek, where we can interact with our house or cell phone?
Well, actually, in some ways, not that far. While people don't necessarily want to put the money behind it and put it in their homes right now, what's happening now, the evolution of speech recognition, is that some companies like Speechworks are making technologies like this on a chip so small you can put it inside a cell phone or in a car. So on a cell phone, you might use it to quickly program in numbers. For example, if I want to put the number of my favorite restaurant, I could say...
You dictate it, and it does it.
I could say the name of the restaurant and just say Radius, spelled R-A-D-I-U-S, and then say the phone number, and very quickly it could establish the number on the phone, even while I'm on the phone talking to someone. I've had people call me, and we're talking on the phone, and I try to program the number, and by accident I hang up because I'm pressing the wrong button.
I've had it happen too. Blade, thank you.
Thank you,
so much for coming in. It seriously was a pleasure, and I mean that. Of course, if you want to learn more about where this stuff is going, he's written a book. That's right. It's called The Art and Business of Speech Recognition, Creating the Noble Voice. Noble.
Pretty noble if it's done
Very royal. And, of course, we've outlined all this information for you on our website already, techtv.com/call for help.